This is a Channel Africa podcast. You can also get Channel Africa on satellite PAS10, DSTV audio bouquet 802, and OpenView bouquet channel 628.
Now, South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa is hosting King Mswati III of the Kingdom of Eswatini on a working visit at Mahlabandlovu, the president's official residence in Pretoria. The king's visit follows a courtesy visit by President Ramaphosa 2 weeks back in Eswatini. For more on this, we're joined on the line by Eswatini government spokesperson Alpheos Nxumalo. A very good afternoon to you, sir, and thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Welcome to Africa in Business.
Thank you, Tammy. Good afternoon to you and to your listeners.
So would you tell us what the purpose of King Mswati III's visit to South Africa is?
Well, as the summit has been, purposes have been stated, clearly this becomes a private engagement between the two heads of states. Therefore, at this stage and this particular moment of time, nothing has been disclosed to members of the media or members of the public as to what exactly is contained in their discussion, which obviously is a continuation of the discussion which the two heads of state conducted in the Kingdom of Eswatini very recently.
There may not have been, as you say, an official announcement of the agenda of the meeting, but what are some of the key talking points between South Africa and Eswatini right now that could be the subject of deliberation, specifically considering that President Ramaphosa was in Eswatini just 2 weeks ago?
As I indicate, it would all boil down to unhealthy speculation indeed, because once a discussion has been declared in the public domain as that of a private nature, all that we can do, we can speculate, which is not wise to do at this particular moment of time, because for the fact that the discussions have needed some extension of some time, as His Majesty undertook this trip yesterday to the Republic of South Africa, is an indication that probably they are still in the middle of whatever items or issues that they are discussing. Therefore, even if one is privy to certain elements of the issues they are discussing, it will not be wise to divulge them at this stage, because the discussions are still ongoing. Decisions will be taken, and I do believe that at the appropriate time, when the process has been taken to its fullest end, members of the public and of the media in particular, they will get to know what the two heads of states have been discussing.
2 weeks ago, the information that we have at our disposal is that when President Ramaphosa went to Eswatini 2 weeks ago, what was discussed was some bilateral relations. That's about as much as we know. But why is there a seeming shroud of secrecy around these meetings?
There is absolutely no shroud of secrecy in as far as we are concerned, because, as you may know, a private visit between head of states are not the first kind of meetings that have taken place within SADC. And there are so many elements that can play into that. One of those elements that could play into that kind of arrangement is that the Kingdom of Eswatini, actually with the ANC and the government of the Republic of South Africa, have a long-standing bilateral relations. And those bilateral relations does not only begin and ends with the two respective states. They have a considerable amount of interest to ensure that there is peace, there is security, and there is development in the whole of SADC community. So we may not know at this stage exactly if the discussions are only confined between the bilateral relations between the two countries, or they may even extend beyond that, which would argue for the reason why the extension of the time for the discussions between the head of state. However, I still come back to the same position, that the best position to take for us is to wait until the discussions are exhausted. And the two head of states, I have got no doubt whatsoever that at the right and appropriate time, they shall take every one of us into their confidence and know exactly what was being discussed and what was the outcome or the outcome of those discussions.
Mr. Alpheos Nxumalo, we thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thank you very much, my sister. We are welcome.
Thank you. That's Eswatini government spokesperson, very tight-lipped, very, very mum about the meetings that have taken place between President Cyril Ramaphosa and King Mswati III of the Kingdom of Eswatini. It's in 2 weeks' time, two meetings in 2 weeks, and not willing to divulge what is on the agenda there.
That podcast was courtesy of Channel Africa, the African Perspective.